Okay, so I I don't know if you all have seen the finale of Sisters yet. I watched it. It's a lot. It's a lot. So before we jump into it, make sure you guys are subscribed to our channel. Make sure you're liking the videos that you actually enjoy. Share those videos to your circles, to your friends, to your networks. Let them see them as well. And then leave us some comments, man. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, what you want us to do more of, less of, all that kind of good stuff. And then check out our application on our Apple as well as Android platforms. Just look up Suave Magazine. You can read full issues there. And last but not least, follow us on all social media platforms under @Suave Magazine. SUAVV Magazine across the board. So let's jump into this. Imagine one day you're sitting in your house, you're watching TV, and then something overwhelms you. You go to your parent and you let them know, hey, I'm going to make this life decision that may or may not be the best thing for me right now, but it's on my heart and I'm following it because I feel like that's what I'm supposed to do. You turn around, you walk out. You make a plan, and then you decide to move from one region in the country to a different region to pursue something that seems like a pipe dream. That is the story of Anthony Dalton. There's a lot that happens before that moment, but you have to read the new issue of the magazine to find that part out. We'll let you know when that drops. But right now, what we're going to focus on is just everything that happens from the moment that he decided to move from Indianapolis, Indiana, to Atlanta, Georgia, to become an actor, and with the vision and the aspiration of working with Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry's series SISTAS has caused many conversations between me and some of my friends, as well as I'm sure you and some of yours. There's a lot of relationship aspects, there's a lot of friendship aspects, there's the questions of sexuality, the questions of what is considered masculine, the questions of betrayal. You deal with death, you deal with child molestation. There's so much weight in this show. Later on in the interview, you'll hear how that happened. But when he made this move, it wasn't easy. There was a lot that goes into it, which is amazing because you think about it again. This is somebody who chased a dream that didn't seem realistic to other people. And it just goes to show that you have to do what's on your heart and do what you're passionate about and what you feel that your purpose is. So I want to introduce you guys to Anthony from a different kind of aspect. You know how we do on the channel. So sit back, relax. Welcome to Suave TV with Anthony Dalton. Relocating by itself is hard, and putting yourself in a different environment. There's not even an environment for you. You're going from Indianapolis to Atlanta, so it's a new region, it's a new culture. So to uproot yourself, again, $400 in your car, and know that you're walking into nothing but a dream and hope.
Yeah.
Like how scary was that drive? And when you got here, it's like, what was that?
I'm gonna tell you, next to my father passing last year, that when they put my car on that hitch, because I had a U-Haul, I had all my stuff in the U-Haul, but my car was on a hitch. Next to that was probably the hardest I've ever cried. Me and my mother and waiting in the car. It's cold. I moved out here January 2nd, 2010. It was cold, and we were just in the car because I'm a mama's boy. I'm not even going front. That's my girl's my best friend, but my mama's my best friend. she in the office working. I'm like, yeah, my mom. But yeah, but no, like it's a difference between being 4 hours away to being 8 hours away, 8.5 hours, you know what I'm saying? To where you're going to a city. My sister went to college here for a little bit. She went to Morris Brown. in like 96, 97. And so I had visited, but I'm from a city where it is black, white, Hispanic, couple of Asians. Like this, everybody's moving from everywhere here. So it was like a culture shock. You know what I mean? Because my high school was primarily black and white. Here, you got people from everywhere. It's kind of like when I went to DC for the first time. I'm like, wow, everybody from, it's a melting pot. And so it kind of threw me off a little bit. But, you know, like God had me, bro. Like honestly, when I moved here, like I say I struggled, but if I tell somebody else who struggled, they'd be like, hey man, get out of here, man. What are you talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I say $400 in my pocket, but well, first I have to say the story about how I moved here. My mother told me, she said, when we were in the car, she was crying, I'm crying. She said, just know, if you ever decide that you want to come home, you can always come home. Yeah. But she looked at me, she said, I know you, and I know you ain't never coming home. And I was like, yeah, because I was like, dude, I didn't have a girl, I don't have kids. I'm like, I'm 30, you know, at the time. I'm like, yo, I can fail. And if I fail, I can be homeless. Like I can sleep on a couch. I can do that. I don't have someone else dependent on me. So but the way I moved here, rewind, was I was teaching, living back home with moms, and Tyler had a television show that he would do when he had a show, like a movie coming out. He would have his own show, like a talk show. And
you know what's crazy? I tell people that nobody remembers it.
Yeah, every time he did a movie, he would have his own talk show.
I was like, it's a whole set, and it looks like an Oprah Winfrey show, but it says Tyler Perry on the stage. I was like, why do you not remember this? Nobody remembers that.
Right. I can't even remember what channel it was on, because the OWN channel wasn't around then. So I can't even remember. I think it might have been on TBS maybe, because he only had House of Pain at the time.
Yeah, I think it was.
So he used to do this, and I just remember he was like, I'm doing laundry in my bedroom, and he points in the camera, and I'm not even watching it. It's just on, and he's like, I don't care who says your dream is stupid, go after it. And I'm looking around like, who are you talking to? Like, because it felt like you talking to me. And he said, I don't care. I'm a living testament to show you that dreams can come true. And it was like a trance took over me, bro. And I went next door, knocked on my mother's bedroom door, and I went in there and I said, I'm moving to Atlanta and I'm gonna work with Tyler Perry. And I walked out and my mom was like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, she's like, this boy of mine just be saying some stuff. But literally, I set a date, January 2nd, because we always celebrated my grandfather's birthday, which is January 1st. And so I wanted to be there for that. And then I moved. But when I got here, I ended up getting a job within like a week and a half. Like a girl who lived next to where I was staying, she was shout out to my homie Dawn. She was a personal trainer at Bally's Fitness in Marietta. And she was like, you look like you work out.
Bally's.
Yeah, right. She was like, you look like you work out. And I was like, yeah. She was like, why don't you come by the gym, blah, blah, blah. Got me on as a personal trainer. That was putting money in my pocket, paying for travel and, headshots and stuff like that. So it was like God put like angels in my life, like throughout this whole journey. Like, regardless, I've been evicted out of an apartment through no fault of my own. I had a roommate who was doing some shady stuff. And I'm like, dang, where am I gonna go? Blah, blah, blah. But God saw fit, like, I got you. Yeah. No matter what. I was never sleeping on like a park bench. I don't have like the Tyler Perry story. Right. Like I never had to sleep in my car. I don't have those street cred stories. Like, oh man, I was homeless, man. I was doing monologues in the park for like change. Like, nah, I don't have that. And But God saw fit, man, for me to be in this position. And like I said, I don't think he would bring you this far just to be like, yeah, I'm done with you. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you have to do your part. I say it every day, I say, please, Lord, just keep me humble, healthy, keep you first. And everything else will, work out for itself.
No, absolutely.
There's people who don't have to work as hard. There's people that, are, who have white privilege. You know what I'm saying? Who can get and move and shake and do what they need to do. And there's other people who got to get it out the mud, But if you really want something, you'll go through it. Anything worth having is worth the struggle. Like sometimes I drive, me and my girl will be driving, I'm in Atlanta, and I'll be driving through Midtown or whatever. And I look at the skyline and be like, yo, I did my thing in this city. Like, you know what I'm saying? Coming from Indianapolis with $400 in my pocket to now having the #1 show on cable television. And it's not to brag or boast. It's just like, dude, most people, I know people who would have bounced by now. If they weren't on by the time, and I'm still trying, it's not like I'm complacent. I'm still looking for more opportunities and what's the next level? Where can I grow in this field? I still have so much more to go, but at the same time, I'm like, bro, you did your thing to where at least people in this city, especially in the acting community, they know your name. Whereas you came in from nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So I was blessed to do that. But teaching, man, I really do feel like that was my grandmother's spirit. Saying, all right, before you bounce, her and God had a conversation. And we're like, all right, before he leaves Indianapolis, can you let him teach and let him, give back to, And sure enough, I was there for a year and a half and moved out here, $400 in my pocket. My 97 Oldsmobile Aurora with a cracked window, which they don't even make Auroras anymore. They don't even make Oldsmobiles anymore.
No,
you know what I
at
mean?
all.
At
whatsoever.
all. Right.
It's not even a choice.
Right.
So it's how, and it's like you manifest working with Tyler just in that moment. And then you get here and you end up working with Tyler. What did that do? What did that do for you?
Well, I had gotten to play Laugh to Keep from Crying within maybe 6 or 7 months of moving here. Originally, I didn't get it. A guy I'd modeled with in a fashion show before he got it, but he couldn't act. It wasn't me. He'll tell you to this day he couldn't act. But he just fit the profile. He was like this muscle-bound guy. Shout out to him. But I ended up taking his role because they brought me back in. I did that, and it put me in Tyler's vision. It put him in his eye because he had never met me. So when he saw the play, they shoot if you think they shoot the shows fast.
Oh yeah.
The play rehearsal is you get 2 weeks, if that, and then y'all on the run, songs, everything. And so I come in maybe, I keep saying I took the job on a Saturday. They gave the cast Sunday off. Monday was tech, and then Tuesday and Wednesday we were shooting 2 shows in front of a live audience in Cobb Gallery. So that let me know. So then when they tell you the story behind how I got the job, he's like, oh, he just got here 3 days ago and he knows all of this within 3 days. Yeah, so it put me in his vision so he could see. And I remember a friend of mine, she sang background. Shout out to my homie Jade Nova. She told me, she was like, yo, he saw the monitors and he was like, yo, this kid, he's good. So God placing me in that situation. Now I tell you this, they thought the play was going on tour and they offered me the tour. So I told my agent, I said, yo, cancel everything because I'm about to be in a Tyler Perry run. I didn't go on any auditions. I was like, nah, he taking me out. He taking me on tour. Man, he ended up taking Medea's Big Happy Family out, our family reunion out, and laughed to keep from crying at the crib. And I was like, but he said he was taking me out. I was supposed to be out. I went into my first audition, man. It was like riding a bike with no feet. I was like, yo, because I hadn't done it in a while. I'm like, yo, because I had put all my eggs in one basket. Once again, another lesson along the road. Bro, until some contracts are signed or until something, man, it's just talk. You know what I'm saying? It no matter who it is. It could be Tyler, it could be Martin Scorsese. Until the ink is on paper. And then you still got to line up stuff until they have actual dates. You still got to line up stuff for, whatever. So I did that, and then fast forward, I did a movie, Single Moms Club. And so I'm doing that, but I was just a background. Like, I had a role that ended up cutting out the movie. We playing basketball, and like Nia Long loses her son. He runs away. And she comes over to me, and now mind you, I was supposed to be man number 3, but in her phenomenal acting, she ends up giving me a name. She's like, Terry, have you seen? And I'm like, nah, I ain't seen it. So now in the credits, they gotta credit me as like Terry. So I got a name now. I'm like, yo. So they give me but they ended up cutting me out. I flew to LA for the premiere, and with my boy and my homegirl and my publicist, and no Anthony was in the movie. I was like, wow, this is awkward. And they were like, my boy told me, he said, hey man, shit happens. Like this is literally what he said. He said, hey man, shit happens, bro. I'm like, okay, that's 2 for 2. But then fast forward again, we go to our audition for a show that was a spinoff for House of Pain called The Pains. And I auditioned for it. Ended up booking it. It was supposed to be 6 episodes. Tyler ended up giving me a series regular role on that. So that let me put me in television sets every week, so people could actually see me. So if you hadn't seen the play, you damn sure didn't see Single Moms Club because I wasn't in it, just in the credits. So that gave me, and if you didn't watch Drop Dead Diva for that 3.2 seconds, like definitely haven't seen me. So this put me in living rooms every week. And then on top of that, while I was doing that, I shot the 3rd season of a show called Saints and Sinners. So that premieres on Sunday. So it was dope because you could see me do comedy on Friday, and you could see me do drama on Sunday. So it was like, oh, that's okay. And then we come to, SISTAS, and, the show, The Pains, we didn't really get great ratings because everybody thought it was going to be like House of Pain. And everybody wanted that original cast back, and they were only there for like the beginning 3 episodes.
Yeah.
I remember they ate us up on Deadline Hollywood. Like, oh, who this light-skinned? Oh, I'm like, oh, wow, this is what scrutiny feels like. You ain't even seen the show yet.
Just dove in instantly.
Yeah, like, I don't like it. Like, I'm like, Jesus, you are somebody's mother. Why are you yelling? But so then SISTAS came about, and the good thing about it, Tyler had told me he didn't tell me the show, but he said, I got an idea. He was like, basically, if the show comes back, good. If it doesn't come back, I got something that might fit for you. But he still made me audition, and I'm thankful for that because it allowed me to be like, okay, if I'm the best man for the job, I'm the best man for the job, because at that callback, it was every phenomenal Black actor in that room, women, men, kids, it was everybody. And they were reading for 2 shows, Oval and SISTAS. Mm-hmm. And so everybody, and I was the only one that was just reading for 1 role. I read for Calvin, and that's it. Everybody else, if you ask any of the fellas on the show, they were reading for people on the Oval, like 3 characters on the Oval, 3 on SISTAS. And I'm like, so if the odds were like great, I'm like, they like, who you reading for? I'm like, Calvin. Like just Calvin.
Just Calvin.
But I'm appreciative to Tyler because he made me earn it. It wasn't any like nepotism, like, yo, I know him, he's good. Because like I said, if somebody come in, if you ain't on your A game, somebody come in, he's discovering new talent all the time. And then they can come for that spot that you thought was yours, but you know, it may not, somebody may clip you. So
it don't work that way.
Right.
I mean, which is crazy though, because people typically try to shun away from smaller roles and only want to go after the bigger ones. And I feel like when you work your way through the business, you appreciate those bigger opportunities because you know what it was like to have those small opportunities.
Absolutely.
And to go to movie set and film and be at the premiere and be like, I don't see me. Like
walking the red carpet too. Like look, I walked the red carpet.
Like, so who are you in the movie? I'm Terry.
Like, oh, okay.
Ain't no Terry.
Ain't no Terry. I'm walking with everybody on the red carpet. My publicist, God bless her. This is why I rock out with her today. I'm like one of the last people to walk the red carpet at that movie premiere. And she's on the outside, like, this is Anthony Dalton. And then like cameramen are like going away to, they just walked, this is Anthony Dalton, and she was like a pit bull. She was like, yo, this is Anthony Dalton, he's in the movie. And I was dressed nice too. They was like, oh, he looked like he might be in something. Man, I'm sitting in there with my boy and my publicist and my homegirl. I'm like, man, oh, this is the part that's coming up. It was a night scene. Next shot, broad day. I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. My boy just kind of like, whew. I'm gonna go get some popcorn. See y'all in a minute. But nah, like, yeah, it was crazy.
Maybe there's a flashback.
Yeah, right. Right, it's a flashback. But no, you're right. You have to go through it to appreciate it. And I used to tell, you know, and I'm pretty sure they knew this before the cast. When I said, man, anytime we have a guest star on our show, we make them feel like family. Because one day, I mean, we're not going, the Sisters, I love the show. I pray we get 10, 12 seasons. But we're not the Simpsons. We ain't going to be around for 30-something years. So that guest star on our show will eventually have his or her own show. And they'll remember how, and you'll be auditioning for their show. And they'll remember how you treated them. And so, you know, and I'm not saying do it because you want something out of it, but just do it because it's common courtesy. You know how it is to go in any kind of arena and be the odd man out. You know what I'm saying? People have been working together, or the new person on the job, and you just trying to fit in. And you would love people to make you feel welcome and feel at home, rather than you got to earn my respect. You got to do this. It's like, nah, make sure everybody feels like family. And that's what we do. I mean, season 2 was kind of hard because of COVID. We had it 6 feet apart, but season 1, anyone who was a guest star, we'd all eat in each other's locker rooms, in each other's dressing rooms. And cool, because Trinity, who plays Preston on the show, he was just a reoccurring. But to us, we didn't even think of him as a reoccurring. We thought of him, we worked out together, ate together. We thought of him as a series regular already. And then he got made a series regular in season 2. But I was like, what's really the difference? I mean, you just did more good for your pockets. Like, I mean, but I never looked at you like, oh, you just a guest star, or you just a reoccurring. Like, nah, you've been fam since the beginning. So
What's because your character has a lot of depth to it, and it addresses a lot of social issues, especially when it comes to having 2 fathers and the same-sex relationship. And it's like, because you have 2 fathers, you take on mannerisms of having 2 fathers. What are some of the things you take away from your role and from your character, and it applies now to your everyday life?
Well, not only two fathers, but two white fathers. You know, that's a social thing. You know what I'm saying? But I've always had a high level of compassion. So I mean, I've already, like, certain mannerisms or certain attributes that Calvin has, I already had those. You know, like wardrobe choice, definitely I haven't, you know, I mean, dove into that, but you know, just compassion. Like I feel like everybody has the right to be happy, no matter what you do.
Yeah.
And I think a part of me living in Atlanta helped with that too, because Indiana, like before I moved, this dude, he exists, but he was like quiet if he did exist. You know, moving to Atlanta, people are more open. DC, Miami, LA, they're more open. So for me, it was just, you know, finding out, does this person really exist? That's the difficult part for me. It was difficult, but I didn't know, like, there were people who would wear underwear like this and still be, consider themselves straight. You know, I come from sports and stuff, so everything's labeled. You do one thing wrong, oh, you're labeled, you're this, you're that. And it taught me, don't label people. Playing this character has been like liberating to allow me to tell someone else's story. Like, I didn't know this person existed. I didn't know people liked, had these fetishes and these things, and and I think that Calvin's explanation for who he is, we learned a lot about Calvin in the first season, almost to the point where I had to text Tyler, like, where's Calvin going? We done told everything about this brother the first season. Like, his daddy, he has trauma, he has, his underwear choices, why he is, his two parents, one of his fathers passes from cancer. Like, we learned so much about this character. How could you even write anything? And that's just a testament to Tyler, because he's like, nah, I got you. I got some more. Yeah, I got some more.
I got more.
Yeah, don't even trip. Who are you talking to? Like, you know what I'm saying?
We just introduced him. Like,
yeah,
we're good for 13 more seasons.
Exactly. But no, like, playing Calvin, I mean, it's taught me too, if I had compassion, to be more compassionate, especially in this climate with all the, the hate crimes and for people just wanting to be who they are. Like, you don't have to like what I do. Like, I steer away from putting my comments, like how I feel on like Shade Room or a post or something, like if I see something, because nobody asked me. Now, if you ask my opinion on something, that's a different story. But I feel like some opinion should be kept to yourself, because and I have to ask myself, is this going to do more harm than help? Right. And 9 times out of 10, someone's going to perceive it as harm. Just because I don't agree with you, that doesn't mean that you don't have the right to be happy, or you don't have the right to be safe, or, you don't have the right to love who you want to love, wear what you want to wear, do what you want to do. That's on you. I'm concerned with me and my family. And I play, right. When I want somebody judging me, you could judge me about a lot of things. There's people who judge me about taking on the role of Calvin. Yeah. And I'm like, well, why couldn't somebody who's into that play the role? I'm like, that's the most dumbest statement I've ever heard. That's like somebody asking you, okay, because they can't ask, if I was to play a gay role, you can't go into an audition. They can't ask you, are you gay or heterosexual? Because if you're not gay, you can't play this role.
Like, so what do I need to be?
What do I need to be to play this role? Like,
how should I answer this to get this?
Right, exactly.
Let me know.
So, I mean, and it's stupid. So I keep my opinions to myself. And I'm all about love, man. I'm all about positivity. And I feel like Calvin is too. I think the thing is with Calvin, he's gone through so much. Yeah. And now he finds some kind of light, which he finds in Sabrina. And it's like, I thought we were here. I thought you accepted me. And then you doing all this other stuff that's contradicting that. And so it's like he's Because the only thing he wants to do is be in a committed relationship. In 2021, in Atlanta, Georgia, a man who takes care of his appearance, his body, works out, has a great job, loves his family, and wants to be in a committed relationship,
has a problem.
Right, and that, but this is why he's such a good conversation piece, because it asks women, these are the things that you check off on what you want in a man, but there's certain hang-ups. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, if he wears this, I can't mess with it. But you'll date the thug, or you'll date the dude who's trapping, or you'll date, you know, the dude who may hit you.
Who checks no boxes.
Who checks no boxes, but you so concerned on him. And also, it goes into the idea of, are you living for yourself? Or are you living for other people? Because Sabrina's more worried about what her friends are thinking. And she always goes to them. Danny, what should I do? What should I do? Sabrina and Calvin could have been cool. She just would have had a conversation with him instead of doing all the sneaky stuff and all that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and shout out to the homie Novi Brown who plays Sabrina. She kills it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's beyond killing it. Like I love it.
Yeah.
All right. So my last thing. So you're on set, and you're now home. You're watching the series at home. Mm-hmm. Your girlfriend's beside you.
I know where this goes.
does it get awkward, like watching this and being like?
In the beginning. Okay, so like in the beginning when her and I first became like together, I went to a premiere for a film I had done called Dating in Atlanta. And it was in a movie, it was an actual theater. And I think we had just gotten to a little spat. It wasn't like anything big. So she wasn't really feeling it. Plus her ankle was hurt because she had fell and she had to wear heels to this premiere. And so she's already like, man, I don't want to be here. Right. And then you look up on this big screen and you see me having sex with this young white girl on the hood of a car. And then all you hear is like the women just, ooh, ooh. They don't know she's with me. They just hear, ooh. And she's just like, oh, like you can feel the heat. But, you know, but as you know, my career has progressed, I don't think it irritates her that much. Because she's met, you know, the cast. She's like, they love her, you know, Novi's the homie, KJ, Alden, Mignon, Ebony, Crystal. So it's like, that's family. Like we have to tell these stories. I remember my mom came to a play one time in college and I had to do a sex scene or a love scene in a play. And
yeah.
My roommate was there. My college roommate was there. And he was sitting with my mom. He was like, man, I had to sit next to your mama while you was doing all that. And I asked my mom, I said, yo, so how'd you like the play? She said, I liked it. She was like, I was like, what'd you think about that one part? She was like, Anthony, I know looking like you look, being, you know, type that the quote unquote industry would like, you're gonna do a sex scene. You're gonna do a shower scene. It's fine. So that gave me the green light.
Oh, that's the green light.
Yeah, that's the green light. I'm like, oh.
I can do whatever I want at this point. My mom said we're good.
Right. You know, but we watch, and most of the time I'm tweeting with fans every Wednesday night. So, you know, it's not really that awkward. Like, and it's not too, I think the one scene, it kind of it threw her off. I think it was the second this season, and I'm in the bed, and they actually showed us like, not like doing it, but they showed like you just see a little bit of my little booty, and I'm like, oh, that's how they edited it. Oh, because I didn't. Okay, so it looks, ooh, that's graphic, but okay, but no. But she doesn't have. Yeah, she understands by now. We've known each other since 2010 or 2011. We've been together for 6-7 years. So she understands. She's seen the progression. She's seen the journey, and so she's been rocking with me with my failures and my successes. So she understands this is an occupational hazard. That's what we'll call it, an occupational hazard.
Occupational hazard. I mean, that's the safe way to go with it. How do you like ground yourself at this point? Like, what do you do to give yourself time and give yourself space and just be able to be you?
Working out has always been like my meditation. I don't really do yoga. I do want to try it, but I talk to God every day. I pray every day. And like I said, I ask him every day, Lord, please just keep me humble and grounded. Because like I said, this industry can make you somebody that you're really not, because people have expectations of you that don't know you. Excuse me. They have expectations of you that don't know you. And for some reason, some people like to try to meet those expectations. And it's like, no, like, oh, you should be driving this because you're this. Or you should be living here because you're this. Or you should be, and it's like, you gonna help me pay for this shit? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? Like, for real, like, you telling me what I should be, but you ain't talking about coming off a check. You know what I'm saying? Or you should have this type, and I tell people all the time, when they say celebrities or people who are in the spotlight, it's not fame that hurts them. It's not money that hurts them. What it is access. Because if you have access, there's no need for money or fame. There's rich people who can't get in the club.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's famous people who can't do certain things just because you're famous. There's famous people that are broke. But if you have access, the people that, once slammed doors in your face are opening those doors. The people, the women that shunned you are now here, and it ain't even a talking thing. It's, it's just, and I got 3 girls and now I got this and to come along. It's the access.
Yeah. I
understand. I'm 40 now. I understand God gives you things when you're ready to handle it. Because I couldn't even imagine me being 25, moving to Atlanta, have the #1 show on television. Come on, bro. Like,
not a chance.
No, it would be ugly. Like, it would be filthy. Like, that's the best way I could describe it. It would be filthy. But I understand, like, right now, I'm blessed to do what I love to do, man. And absolutely. I understand as easily as it was given, it can be taken away. You know what I'm saying? So anytime, because there's been times I have this thing about checking myself before anyone else checks me. So if there's people on Twitter, oh, you suck, this show is trash. I'm like, I'm my worst critic. There's nothing you can say that I probably haven't said to myself, but guess what? I'm here. God chose me to be in this position. And so I take solace in that. If you would have looked at all the people that were at that callback, Tyler didn't have to choose any of us. He could have chosen a whole new cast, but he chose us specifically. So only thing we have to do is walk in it. Because I'm like, I think as in the Black community, we have this fear of going back, of regressing, like going backwards. We have a fear of, oh, you make this money, I can't go back to being broke. So you tight-fisted with your money, or you don't want to invest, or you don't want to do anything, or you've made it to a certain point and you're like, I don't, it's like a dream. I can't. I don't want to wake up, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we have to understand, like, God puts these things in our lives for a reason. Sometimes they're lessons, sometimes they're just rewards. You know, you learn. Like I said, I'm always learning. Even in this business, I'm still learning. I'm still like, oh, somebody asked me, do I want to direct? I said, I'm more interested in editing, because that's how films get made. That editing room, boy, I can make some, if I get dope at editing, I can make somebody's performance look like
you're everything.
Right. I'd be like, yo, this is not the same cat who was shooting on the day.
Like, all right, now, don't ever do a play.
Right. But I got you. I got you
though.
Don't
you ever do this live.
Don't you ever
do this live.
If you do this live, bro,
they gonna catch you.
I'm a denounce ever even knowing you, bro. I can't let you go out like that.
Right,
but
it's not gonna work.
Yeah, but
That's
I keep myself grounded, and sometimes even, because your reality is different now. What you're around, like a friend of mine who worked on the show, he was in hair and makeup. He told me when I was looking for a crib, and I was like, man, I don't think, because I still sometimes look at myself, I'm just that dude from Indianapolis, cat from the hood. And he was like, nah, you need a concierge or somebody. Everybody can't get access to you. I'm like, why would somebody want to get access to me? Because I don't think of myself in that light. And he was like, bro, I said, I don't want people to think I've changed. He was like, no. He's like, you haven't changed. It's just changed. Meaning your life has just changed. It's not you changing, but the things around you, the people that you're meeting, the business that will happen around you is going to change. You know what I'm saying? You can't move the same way you know. That's back in the day, if someone didn't know, I can't go back home and shoot dice on the porch with now a camera phone. Somebody, my boy back home, he's shooting. I mean, all of a sudden Tyler texts me, hey bro, so I wanted to talk to you about this
this dice game
you had on the porch. You feel me? So it's that. And sometimes I have to check myself even when it comes to little things. I remember one time I just bought my car and this woman whipped out, I think she had like a 94 something. And she whipped out and almost hit my car. And I'm livid. I'm like, get your busted, blah, 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 blah. And then really, it was almost instantly where I checked myself like, hold on, bro. You hadn't always been driving a decent car, bro. Check yourself. Like really check yourself. And I literally said this out loud to myself. So I have that ability to be like, you doing too much. You got a little bit too much dip on your chip. Like, relax. Like you hadn't always been in this position. And understand it can be taken away at any given time. And, I'm expecting my son into this world in July. And so
congrats.
Thank you. So, I want to instill that. He's going to be a Cancer too. So I'm a Cancer. So I'm like, what are you? You must be a Leo.
Sagittarius.
What's that?
December
what?
5th.
Okay, my mom's is December 7th, so you cool.
Yeah,
cool.
I mean we're great people. Y'all Cancers tend to be a little,
we're sensitive. We're very sensitive. We but I tell you this, it takes a lot for this to happen. But if we don't mess with you or you cross us,
you don't cross the Cancer.
Oh, there's literally only two people in my life that have gotten me to that point, and I'm like, dude, it could be literally, oh man, he's on fire.
Dude, looks hot.
That's crazy. But it takes a lot.
It takes a lot to get there.
A whole lot. So, with that, I just want to instill in my son to treat people the way you want to be treated, man. Just real basic stuff that we should be living today. It's so crazy when somebody does something nice that we're shocked about it.
Very shocked.
We're shocked. We're like, oh my God, like somebody runs into, helps somebody or comes to someone's aid, like right now with all this Asian hate. Like, somebody was like, this man came to this Asian woman's defense. He should have. Like, that's what I'm saying. You should have, but we're so shocked because so much negativity in the world that is the norm. So anything outside of that being positive is like, oh, let's praise this person. It's like, no, hold doors for people, stuff like that. It shouldn't. I don't get a reward for that, for being a good human being.
Doing what you're supposed to do.
Exactly. And I just want to instill in my son all of that. And, I want him to grow up to be it. He doesn't even have to be an actor. As long as you do what you love to do and you have a passion for what you love to do. And, everything else, because I don't feel like it's just me and my girl raising him. I feel like he's going to have a whole community. And also God's going to help me raise him. So we're going to be good.
I mean, you're mentality-wise, you're already off at a great start. So,
I appreciate it.
I mean, I think you'll be a great dad.
Appreciate that.